Welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and this is...
Luke Smith. Oh, and my dad forgot something last episode.
This is true. I did forget something. I forgot to remove this blast token from the flamer being shot, and some people were asking, is this still going to exist for the rest of the game? Is it block line of sight forever? This should have been removed at the end of the last round. So sorry about that. It is now gone. That ammunition has been spent. 5 shots left in the flamer. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, too, is we don't have a playmaker for this move. We're going to the YouTube comments, and there were a few different suggestions, and it's really interesting because they're all different, and they all have pros and cons. And you got to remember, when you play this game for real, the Space Marines are on a timer. So when you're in a situation like this, and it's getting down there, and it's getting kind of tense, you really have to make those decisions quickly. So it was really, really difficult to pick which move to go with, but after the break, we'll come back, and we'll show you what we're doing.
Captain Dallas, this is Command. Be advised, we have several contacts approaching your position. This is Captain Dallas. We have no contact. We have no contact. Over. Wait a minute. What's that? Contact front!
So this player's submission comes to us from Fish of Mew. Or Moo? Mewy? You get the idea. Actually, we're going to start with Brother Jack. And he didn't specify the move for Brother Jack, so I guess I'm also contributing to this. This is a nice place to start because you can kind of see everything all at once, including the objective room back here. All right, so the first thing that Brother Jack is going to do is move 2 spaces forward. And then he's going to spend his remaining 2 action points to go on Overwatch. And that could prove very important by the end of this round. So far in this series, we've seen that Captain Dallas is very effective with his weapons. But now we're going to test his bravery. First, he's going to take a step and fire. It's a hit, and it's an important one.
Because now you guys can see what my blip is.
That's right. Do you want to show us?
Da-na-na.
Oh, it is a 3. We would have caught a really nice break there if that had actually been a 1 or even a 2. So now we've got 3 models to deal with still. And despite knowing what he's facing, Captain Dallas moves forward and shoots again. Two 5s, not enough for a hit. Now some of you might be thinking, this is the time to put Captain Dallas on Overwatch. Try to wipe out some of these Gene Stealers as they advance and survive another round. The problem is, we don't just have these 4 Gene Stealers here. We also have a blip down the hallway, which could have another 3 in it. Luke is going to draw another 2 blips this turn. That could be several more Gene Stealers. And pretty soon, we're not going to be able to deal with that many all at once, and we're going to get overrun. So that's why we're taking the riskier move, but perhaps the only real chance we have, and moving Captain Dallas forward one more time, taking the free shot. We're going to need to see a 6 here to get a hit. It's a miss.
Yes!
And now, having proven both his effectiveness in battle and his bravery, Captain Dallas is also going to prove his heroism. He's going to move his last action step forward diagonally. Now, although this Gene Stealer is no longer directly in front of Captain Dallas, it's within one of the 3 spaces in front of Captain Dallas, so it's within line of sight, and Captain Dallas can take a free shot. It's a miss, or perhaps we can assume that Captain Dallas is getting low on ammunition. And that uses up his action points, and it exposes him both to these Gene Stealers here, as well as this blip. He's not turned to face it, so he can't see it at this point, but it's coming, and most likely it will attack him. But of course, Captain Dallas did this with a purpose. He's trying to clear the way for Sergeant Castile, a member of his squad who's been causing him some difficulty. He wants him to be able to clear out some of these Gene Stealers, opening up a path for Heavy Flamer Walters to complete the objective. Will the risk have been worth it? Let's find out. First, Sergeant Castile will move one space and fire. And it's a hit.
No!
This Gene Stealer has been removed. With righteous fury, Sergeant Castile moves forward again and takes another shot. It's another hit.
No!
It's another big hit. It's another 6 and a 5.
My goodness.
This Gene Stealer is removed. So far, Sergeant Castile is following orders perfectly. He's going to move and attack again. It's a miss.
Phew.
He's going to move one more time, take another shot. And this time, it's another hit.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable. Okay, this Gene Stealer has also been removed. Now we have another difficult decision. Fish of Moo suggested that we spend 2 command points to put Sergeant Castile on Overwatch. But since he succeeded, incredibly, in wiping out all of these Gene Stealers that were here, I think instead we should spend the 2 command points to place Sergeant Castile on guard. This will allow him to re-roll his die during a close assault, as well because he's a sergeant, he gets to add 1 to his roll. And because he has the power sword, he's able to parry, which means he'll be able to force the Gene Stealer player to re-roll its highest die. Hopefully these are all things that will enable that close assault to go in our favor. It's another risk, and we're going to have to wait and see if it pays off. Now, before I move Heavy Flamers Walters, I just want to move him back to where he was last turn for a moment. With his last action point, I had moved him forward for 1. My thinking, of course, was to try to keep him moving as much as possible. But, as was pointed out by several people, a better use of that action point would have been to turn him. Because then during this turn, I could move him forward diagonally for 1 action point, and he'd be here. Instead, for this turn, we're going to be spending an action point to turn him, and then another action point to move him forward 1. And so that cost us 2 action points to do the same as spending 1 would have done if we had turned him in the last turn. With his remaining 2 action points, he's going to move forward 2 more spaces. What an incredible turn for the Space Marines.
Incredibly bad, you mean?
It does depend on your perspective. We wiped out a bunch of your Gene Stealers, Luke. But you're going to get some more right now, so why don't you grab a couple of your blips. We'll give Luke a second to look at them and decide what he wants to do.
Now I know where I'm going to put these blips.
Sounds menacing. Let's find out.
I'm placing them here. Now I'm going to flip over this blip. And it's a 1. Now I'm going to move him 3 spaces. And I have to stop because my dad's on Overwatch.
So
shoot me.
This is why we put him on Overwatch. I wanted to be able to catch this blip, which is now a model. 1 shot. And it's a miss.
Yes! And I'll move 1 more space.
Now he's out of my line of sight. I can't shoot him. That was 4 actions. So Luke has 2 actions left to attack Captain Dallas.
Ah.
So for a close assault, again, Luke is going to get to roll 3 dice. And you rolled a 6. So the only way Captain Dallas can survive this is if I also roll a 6.
Oh my goodness!
Now, this is interesting. This is very interesting because Captain Dallas is not facing the Gene Stealer. He survives the attack, but he does not destroy the Gene Stealer. Instead, I can turn to face the Gene Stealer. And this time, during the attack, if Captain Dallas wins, he will be able to destroy the Gene Stealer as well. So, Luke, am I correct in assuming you're going to attack again?
Yes.
All right, roll 3 more dice. So this time, I have to roll a 5 or a 6.
Yes!
Captain Dallas has been defeated. Now, I know this may be a little bit silly, but I just wanted to cut away for a moment to acknowledge the passing of Captain Dallas. Luke, we wiped out a bunch of your Gene Stealers, but you did
Get revenge.
You got your revenge by removing Captain Dallas. I don't know about the rest of you, but honestly, I got pretty attached to this character. I enjoyed seeing what he was doing in the game, and I am sad that he is going to be leaving the game. Chaz named this character for us. Cole Fisher, one of our viewers, painted him and sent him to us. And he's really been the Harvey Walters of this series. Harvey Walters was a character in our Mansions of Madness playthrough who just kept fighting even against incredible odds and eventually was removed, much like Dallas was. But he will be missed, and it'll be interesting to see what his teammates do in his absence. Let's find out what happens next, Luke. We'll get back to the table.
With this Gene Stealer, I'm going to move 2 spaces and have a free turn.
Anything else?
Attack!
I thought you might say that. Luke gets to roll 3 dice. Wow, and what a roll it is. He's got a 6, a 4, and a 1. Now, thankfully, my sergeant has the power sword. That means I can parry his attack, forcing him to re-roll his highest value. Oh, it's a 5. It's still pretty good. So now I get to roll a die. I want to see a 6 here. It's a 5. 5 plus 1, because he's a sergeant, means it's a 6. That's a successful attack. And this Gene Stealer is removed.
Now I'm going to flip this blip.
Now this is interesting, because although these blips are lurking, as long as they haven't been activated during the turn, Luke can flip it, and then he can replace it with models and activate those models. So which model are you going to activate, and how many spaces?
6. And this one's going to go 5. And this one's going to go 4.
I'll move this one for you.
And I'm going to flip this blip, which is a 2.
Another 2 models. And these ones are going to come on the board as well, I assume.
Yep, 3 spaces. And this one, 2 spaces.
Wow, a lot happened, and a lot more is about to happen. We've got another horde of these Gene Stealers to deal with, and we're down another man, a very valuable man. We're going to end this here. It's the end of the round, so I'm not going to forget to remove the token. So the guard token comes off, the Overwatch token comes off, and I'm going to show Luke that we had 2 action points, not very many. So Luke, I'll say goodbye to you. Good job on another round, and I'm going to draw some more command points for the next round.
See ya.
With the number of Gene Stealers on the board now and how close they are to us, if we want to have a shot at winning, we are going to need some of these extra command points. So here's the first roll. 3. 3 is not good. It's certainly better than a 1 or 2, but it's probably worth re-rolling. I'm going to use the sergeant's ability to re-roll. Oh, much better. That's a 5. Even with 5 command points, we still have quite an uphill battle ahead of us. I hope you guys will help us out again by submitting some suggestions in the YouTube comments, or if you're a playmaker and want to submit a move, please feel free to do so. Until the next episode, thanks for watching.
Captain Dallas, this is Command. We have your next orders. Captain Dallas, please report in. Captain Dallas, do you copy? Captain Dallas. Captain Dallas.